What's going on, everybody? It's Lucky Finn Gaming here, and welcome back to another Let's Talk, where once again today we have Killing Floor 2 as the background, so I do hope you all enjoy. But today I want to talk about something that I noticed particularly in the United States among its citizens here, and something I've just noticed, an opinion of mine about the United States in particular. I don't know if England or any other country shares this particular issue, but it is one that I have noticed particularly in the United States. I'm really trying to avoid this channel becoming political, so hopefully this will be one of the only videos I make on this kind of subject. But I do want to talk today about the political spectrum and about how I feel the United States is in what I have personally dubbed a soft civil war. By what I mean by that is there has been certainly some violence involved in the Civil War, in this Civil War that I think is going on in the United States right now. But it's mostly in the voting or political spectrum, just people arguing on the political spectrum. I would say again that there is definitely been some violence that has been had over this, but hopefully it doesn't go any further than what little violence we've had. But it's, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I'm going completely no script here. My last Let's Talk, I did actually have a script, but for this particular one I wanted to go no script, so that way y'all got a little bit more raw feeling from me. So I'm kind of trying to figure out my words here. Like I already knew, like I said, kind of what I wanted to talk about today, but I'm trying to figure out how to word it. And I think the best thing to talk about is, cancel culture. Everybody, I'm sure there's a lot of people who hate to hear that word, or hear that phrase. But the cancel culture has certainly played a role in this soft civil war we've had. But I think overall, something I think we can all agree on, or what I should say is, what brings me to talk about this is the frank crisis in Afghanistan. It's a really sad situation. But as I was scrolling through my YouTube the other day, I noticed that a headline that came up was the political repercussions for President Biden on this issue. And I made a comment that some people actually, I got some backlash on the comment actually. But what I basically said was, we need to stop caring about how this will affect the president politically, and the focus right now needs to be on what we can do to solve the problem in Afghanistan. Okay, that's what I said. I hope that there are a lot of people who would agree with this. However, sadly, there were some people that actually got upset that I said that, and compared me saying that it doesn't matter how Afghanistan happened, the thing that we need to focus on is solving the problem. There were some people who actually compared that to a surgeon basically not fixing a problem, and I was like, that's not even close. Okay, the problem is Afghanistan. Okay, what happens to Joe Biden or President Biden right now shouldn't be of any concern to us. What I feel like should be concern is what's going to happen to the people in Afghanistan, because they're the ones in actual danger. And like I said, people got mad at me for that. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that President Biden has been the best president. I'm not even going to pretend that he's been a good president, okay? That's my opinion. And at this point, I think that's an opinion shared by a great many people. He has basically been a complete failure up to this point. Everything that he's done has had extreme negative backlash. But that's not necessarily what I want to talk about today. We can talk about the failings of our current president another time. What I want to talk about is the fact that people are just, there's this problem going on right now, and people are using it to attack the president. And I don't like that. Okay? There's a real problem here, that's going on, and that's what we should be talking about, not how bad the president is doing right now. But this is the soft civil war I was talking about. There are some who are blaming former President Donald Trump, for the issue in Afghanistan. That, oh, well, he was going to pull out too. Okay, that's great. I don't care. Okay, but that's the soft civil war I want to talk about. It's always Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus liberal. I hate conservative and liberal because those are just those have become slang terms that don't actually belong. Liberal and conservative are actions, not a political party. But that's beside the point. Again, something we can talk about later. So the soft civil war I'm talking about, though, is that there's always a blame game going on. Okay, well, look at those dirty Republicans. Look what they did. Oh, look at those dirty Democrats. Look what they did. This is the Democrats' fault. This is the Republicans' fault. And it's led to a situation which is, in my opinion, fundamentally destroying the United States. Because as political opinions get stronger, the two sides, which were intended to work together, have stopped working together. Now it's far more about defeating the other side than it is about, seeking what the best goal is. Okay, so and this is a real dangerous problem. This is the stuff. Right now, it's a soft civil war, but generally, this is the stuff that leads to big civil wars. Okay, and what we as citizens of the United States need to do is we need to work together and talk together instead of pointing fingers. Okay, let me say something, okay? Overall, I thought former President Obama was a pretty good president. He did good stuff, okay? Was everything he did great? No, he made mistakes. Overall, I thought former President Trump was a good president. Was everything he did great? No, he made mistakes. But that's a human trait, okay? To pretend like that's not a human trait, to pretend like a president is any better than you or me, is a fundamental break in in America. Okay, one of the things is the division of classes, is no division of classes, I should say. To accept that the politicians make mistakes like the rest of us. Okay, and this is a problem that has been lost, or this is a problem that has been found, that we've lost this sense of objectivity. Okay, people seem to forget that, did Donald Trump handle the coronavirus pandemic perfectly? Perhaps not. Were there some things he could have done better? Sure. But hindsight is always 2020. Okay? Every single time it's 2020. So again, that being said, immediately though, once the coronavirus broke out, everybody was blaming Trump. Okay, oh well, look how horribly, oh, he's an idiot, or, so on and so forth, insulting the president. And I took particular problem to this, not necessarily because I'm the world's biggest Trump fan, but because he did what he thought it was best, and that's that's all we can really say about it. He did what he thought was best. Was it the best plan? Perhaps not. Could better things have been done? Probably. But again, I feel like I just keep saying the same thing, and I'm really trying not to do that. Again, completely going off script. But I'm sorry, guys. Again, tripping over my words, off script. But the point is that this is real dangerous territory that we're toying with here. We are, people are just too quick to play the blame game, and instead of seeking, a solution to the problems we're facing, it's all about what political party you're associated with. And again, this is very dangerous territory. This is the stuff that once again, it leads to major civil wars. And if we don't wake up to this fact, then we are inbound for a major civil war in the United States. Okay? And that's not a thing anybody wants to go through. I hope that's not something anybody wants to go through. I saw some people saying that after President Biden was elected, that was definitely going to be a civil war. And I told them all I hope that's not the case, but it was looking like it there for a little while. But thank God it didn't. That didn't actually happen. But the point being here, guys, is don't become so dedicated to your political party that you forget that we're all citizens of the same country, okay? And that's the big thing. A problem affects all Americans, okay? And we need to remember that the point is to work together and find a solution that benefits everybody, okay? Having a problem in the Middle East where, those people may become a threat to the United States. I'm not saying they are an immediate threat, but a situation where, there are people in Afghanistan right now, there are U.S. servicemen and women, and there are allies in Afghanistan. There were news reporters who have really put themselves on the line. And I know here in America you might not see it the same way. You say, oh, well, they're just news reporters. But over there in the Middle East, a news reporter is a big deal. If you say something that's against, they don't have freedom of speech over there necessarily. So if you say something that goes against, political belief system, that could get you killed, and that's exactly what the news reporters in Afghanistan are dealing with. The Afghani news reporters are currently facing a situation where, they could be, they're being hunted down to be arrested and quite possibly executed. I don't know that will happen for sure, but I'd say it's a good possibility. The Taliban will probably, if they find them, will likely execute them. Again, sad set of circumstances. And the thing is that there are too many people here just pointing a finger at President Biden, and that's what needs to stop. Okay, stop pointing fingers at President Biden. Stop pointing fingers at the Democrats. Okay, and I hate that as well. Pointing fingers at the whole party, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. Okay, we need to focus on how can we fix the problem in Afghanistan. Okay, we need to work together to figure out how to fix that problem. Okay. And what I was talking about a minute ago, again, going off script, I just kind of came to me something that I wanted to also talk about. You know, how would I say that my political leanings are? I would say I probably lean a little bit more to the right than to the left. I think I try to go purely based off of logic, not specific political spectrums. So I'm a little bit more, like I said, logical, and I think the right has a lot of more logical ideas. The left has a tendency to lean more towards the favoring of socialism. I'm not going to say pure socialism, but they do seem to enjoy the idea of socialism a little bit more than the right. I have problems with that because if you look through history, socialism doesn't work on a wide scale. Okay, Germany fell apart. Hitler was a big socialist. Fell apart. But that aside, I hate it when people blame all the Democrats. Okay, they say, oh, well, the Democrats. Okay, but the Democrats is not everybody. Okay, not all Democrats are bad. I've had Democrat friends and I've had Republican friends. Not all Democrats are bad. Not all Republicans are bad. Okay, do I think that there's a lot of stupid Democrats in office right now? Absolutely. I think the president is pretty dumb overall. I think he's made a lot of poor decisions. Then you have people who are just straight up disrespectful. Just awful, disrespectful people like Speaker Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi. Okay, she's just a disrespectful piece of human garbage, in my opinion. My goodness, I could rant about Nancy Pelosi. I think she's the biggest problem in Washington right now. But again, things we could talk about another time. And then you got Elizabeth Warren. What she did was just racist on multiple levels. Claiming that she's Native American. Like, yes, okay, I guess if you want to go by Elizabeth Warren's logic, I guess we're all Native American because, after all, most United States civilians are United States citizens who have been here for multiple generations have at least some percentage of Native American blood in them. That's just how it is. But that's not to say that there's also not garbage people in the Republican side of the cabinet. Mitt Romney is a trash human being. I'm not particular to somebody like Paul Ryan either. I think he's also a pretty garbage level human being. But I see these as people, not necessarily the party that they're part of. Okay, I think they're good Republicans and I think they're good Democrats. And as I said a minute ago, they're bad Democrats and they're bad Republicans. Okay, so people need to view these as the people, not the party. Okay, as soon as you stop viewing parties and you start seeing people, we can get the bad people out and get the good people in. Okay, and then we can hopefully we can start working towards actually making the country a better place again. Okay, and we can start stepping away from this very volatile situation in the United States. But I've basically made all the points that I was trying to make, and this video is running into 20 minutes of me ranting about stuff that's probably horribly incoherent, and I might not even upload this at the end of the day. But given where I am right now, I think this is an excellent stopping point. So I will go ahead and say that if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you all in another time and dimension, whenever or wherever that may be. Till then, peace out.